Hey, what is up? We are live. We're going to start by doing a wildcat real quick. I'm going to pop right in and we will let some people filter in. And then once this wildcat is over, I am going to jump on over and do the limb exposures. I haven't looked at the teams yet. Um, we will figure out how that works and if it's going to work. Um, We got the payouts for first quarter. It looks like the Elim payouts probably hit as well. I haven't double checked, but I got two bumps today, so I would assume that both of those hit. Um, and welcome everybody. So we got the 102. So tonight, for those of you who do not know, we will be doing a show on Candyman's channel. It will rotate. We're going to go through this entire slate game by game, talk about what we like, what we don't like, uh, spots that we think can be attacked or not. I mean, I think it's very, very clear that Jonathan Taylor is the absolute 101 on this slate. Um, but we will see if that is correct or not. Um, I I'm having a hard time not putting Amon at two. I know some people are saying that JSN should be with Amon Ra. I just don't see Dan Campbell letting off the gas at all. Um, although I did hear some news earlier today in the Davis Medic Discord. Yeah, that it. I'm very excited to make it a thing. It's it's not the best time for me, honestly, because like I'll basically sleep 5 hours every night, every Wednesday night, but it'll be worth it because I will enjoy it, and I could take a nap or whatever in the afternoon if I want. But yeah, it should be awesome. Um, but yeah, like I like Almond here, but I do want some Achan and some Gibbs. The news I heard today is that so the game is at Cincinnati, which Jared Goff outdoors. One reason I'm gonna not take Amon up here, although I think you could argue that that is a thing. Um, but number two, David Montgomery was born in Cincinnati, so it is a homecoming game for him. And his sister is like very injured, like, and she's gonna be able to actually go to the game. Like, I can't remember. Let me look it up and double check that this is true. Oh, yeah, she had. All right, so his sister Kiki had an accident and basically she's not able to walk, and this will be the first time she's able to watch him play. I think so. I would hope and I would expect Dan Campbell to absolutely make sure he gets a touchdown this week. We will be able to pick him with the Boostober, and that is absolutely going to be in it. I don't think that Dan Campbell is going to allow him to leave without without a touchdown after hearing that. These injuries are absolutely wild. Like it is insane what we have going on. Uh, Gumbo here takes Dak Prescott. I take George Pickens. Uh, I mean, I just think George Pickens is a great pick. So we got Achan, we got Pickens. I I do think this is the time to take Justin Fields, but I already have 33% Justin Fields in this contest, and he still goes in the fourth round reasonably often. So I used to take him in the third a lot. Now I'm starting to push him and seeing if I can't get even stronger teams. This season's going to be a train wreck. If the yeah it if you I think this year if you get 14 players to a finals, you're going to be happy about it. Like it's going to be insane. Uh, do you know why I sent it? Is he not on the slate? I haven't heard anything about that. We will look at that. Yeah, I did not know. I mean, it could be a 50 bomb from H-Hand for sure. So yeah, like if Fields is here, I will absolutely take Fields. If he's not, I do have a secondary plan of what I would like to do. Um, I do think I'm going to start prioritizing David Montgomery a little bit in these after that news. David Montgomery was on the Kay Adams show and kind of went over that and how it would be special to do something there. So he's going to be playing inspired. And with the Jared Goff indoor outdoor split stuff on top of that, like I actually think that Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery is a good place to be this week. To take both of them a little bit. Not all the time, but I will have a couple teams like that. It would make some sense. Like, so Justin Fields did go. I want the McMillan here. And then if Brees comes back around, I might take him. I might take Demont. Like, I still like Brees Hall over Demont, but I usually didn't notice don't notice much on the K Adams show besides the host. Yeah, like I used to watch Good Morning Football every day, and I do not watch it anymore. Oh no, so his sister was in a car wreck, and he lived in Cincinnati growing up, and she can't walk. So it's going to be the first time she's going to be able to see him play in the pros, I think, is what they said. So it'll be like an emotional game for him. And if we know anything about Dan Campbell, he's all about doing what's best for the people on his team. And if you're telling me that he's not going to make sure David Montgomery gets a touchdown, I think you're crazy. If as long as it's not going to like cost them the game to do that, like I think it's very, very live. Yeah, exactly. Same reason. Good Morning Football. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I do like, and the thing is, like, she actually knows football very well. Like, nobody really talks about that. She actually knows the game well. But yeah, I've been taking Bryce Young a little bit as well. I actually think Rashid Rice's advance rate, assuming that he stays healthy, is going to be over 16%. I honestly think that with all of these early injuries, I think a lot of teams that took Rashid Rice with two running backs early, and as long as they didn't hit an injured running back, and they had like the JT plus Saquon or Achan plus like I don't know Brees Hall, something like that, and you missed Neighbors, like I think those teams are going to be the ones that advance very, very well. Like I know a lot of my Rashid Rice teams are like Bijan, Josh Jacobs, or Jahmyr Gibbs plus Jonathan Taylor, stuff like that. And then I took Rashid Rice later to like give myself a wide receiver bump at the end. So I know that a lot of my Rashid Rice teams are kind of positioned pretty well. Assuming that they're not too far out. So I think I don't know if everybody did that, but I do think I know a lot of people were taking the 4 wide receivers and then Rice. I don't know that those teams advance as well, but I do think the ones that took like 2 RBs in the first 6 rounds with Rice, like I think that even if Rice was your 3rd round pick versus a 6th round or 7th round pick, I do think that all of those combinations are very possible to advance. So what was I going to look up? Rankings, Primetime Palooza. So this one. Wow. That is crazy that Isaiah Bond wasn't listed. Like he had 50% or 60% route participation or whatever. That is crazy. That's a good shout out. Who was that shouted that out? That was Chiato, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I had noticed. I actually just traded for Isaiah Bond in a dynasty league. I took over an orphan that like was incredibly bad. I just traded Cortland Sutton for a second and Isaiah Bond. Yeah, it really is wild the Bond isn't there. All right, so time to check my 5 remaining eliminators. I did 75. I'm right at advance rate. Yeah, I did. They're open for it's open for 4 days right now. It says it'll be all month, like it said that on the thing. But if you go to the promo, it's only for uh, for 4 days. Uh, I want my $3 back. Yeah, like I mean, if you message them and say, "Hey, I only did this because I love Isaiah Bond," I don't know. I I doubt it would help. Like, you still got to draft a team, but if you were expecting him to be there as a scroll and he wasn't, it is kind of wild. On your opinion, do you think it'll be more Carter or Demarcado? I think it'll be exactly what it was with Trey Benson and James Conner. So, like, they went from James Conner running the ball and Trey Benson being the pass down back to Trey Benson being the running the ball and Demarcado being the passing down back. I think that Carter just becomes the running guy and Demarcado stays the passing down back is kind of what I believe will happen, but we will see if that happens. All right, first look. I'm not playing anyone in the community or any of the big streamers. First team, we have Malik Neighbors. That's a good start. So we will look at my team first. Fields May, that feels awesome. Derrick Henry, Brees Hall, Montgomery, Judkins, Tootin. That feels really, really good. Neighbors, RIP. But we got Garrett Wilson, Steph Diggs, Shaheed, QJ, Palmer, and Wicks is on bye. So I only have 4 wide receivers. I mean, I guess Palmer counts. So there's 5 wide receivers. But I have really strong running backs, so I should be able to flex a high score. I just have to make sure that I hope that I get more than like 5 points from my wide receiver 3. And then Ferguson, Taylor, Higbee is also fine. On the other side, I get a team with Bijan on bye. That's a blessing. Kenneth Walker plays against Tampa Bay, which is a blessing. Javonte Williams has an awesome matchup against the Brees Hall. They have McMillan, who I love. Rome is also Golden's on bye, so like they're very thin too. I'm projected to lose still because I'm missing my first round pick, and they have a very very strong team. But I do think that I should be able to edge this one out. We will see. It all depends on how many points Javonte Williams scores. In my eyes, like they have 3 RBs that are solid. Like Tillman's out. We both have Palmer. We both have Diggs, right? So it's Tet McMillan, Marvin Mims. Literally just Tet McMillan, Marvin Mims versus Garrett Wilson, QJ, and Shaheed. And then I think I have better RBs. Like, so it's Josh Allen versus Justin Fields, right? Like, Josh Allen has to outproduce Fields or May. I think that's where the biggest part of this is coming. So I do think I edge him out here at RB and at flex, but it is very possible Josh Allen outscores my 2 quarterbacks by 6 points, and I only outflex by 3. The projection is probably close. I think that I should be favored, though, on that matchup. Matchup number 2. What's up, Bink? We will, after I go through these elims, we will look through the DFS slate. And by the way, I don't even know. Like, we might look at the showdown slate, but it's probably just you buy whatever you want with all the money because all of the Niners are injured and Mac Jones is free. The guy with the most bond in BBM, only has 36 total teams with 22 bond. What a hero. Isaiah Bond. I like, so based on what the Browns are doing right now, they are literally already in evaluation mode. All they're doing is putting out players and evaluating for next year already. So I think they're going to kind of move out, especially with Tillman being out. Like, do you really think they're going to be trotting Jamari Thrash out there to evaluate him? No, they want Isaiah Bond. Isaiah Bond has ties with, I think, the wide receiver coach from college. All right, so second team. We have no common players. Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, Gibbs, Javonte Williams, RIP, Rachaad White might have the entire backfield. Rico Dowdle might have the entire backfield. JCM, Jarquez, Pickens, Debo, Cup, Diami, and Turpin, who showed up with a foot injury today. And Jamari Thrash is at least a superstar name, right? And then Trey McBride, Dalton Kincaid. I mean, I kind of think this week sets up as a Rams run the ball and dominate game. But I also think that Sean McVay may just run up the score a little bit because they can, and it's the Niners, and they hate each other, right? So the other team has Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Derrick Henry, Quinshawn, Scadabo. That is insane. That is an insane RB room. Let's see why I'm favored. Is it all because of Josh Allen? Or is it all because of Trevor Lawrence? Like, they only have one quarterback, and that quarterback goes against Kansas City. So I will have a rooting interest most likely on Monday night for Eliminator. Marv, Jacoby, Downs, Shaheed. Yeah, like the rest of my tight ends are better. My wide receivers are better. My quarterbacks are better. And my running backs are solid, but that is an insane RB room. But he could only start 3, and he probably wishes he could start 5. So I do agree that I should be favored here. I kind of do like my team better. Yeah, it really, really is. Like, I mean, my running back room is pretty good with Gibbs, Javonte, most likely a full workload, Rachaad White. Dowdle may be the fullback as well. But yeah, that RB room is nuts. All right. The third eliminator. RIP Lamar Jackson. So I have no I have no quarterback. All right. I have no quarterback. Mike the Pike. All right. So we both have Rome as well. James Cook, Javonte Williams, Rachaad White, Dowdle. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and chalk this one up as a loss. Like, I'm missing 20 points out the gate. I do have Gibbs, Hampton, Dobbins, but like Jaden Blue's not doing anything. Brian Robinson probably not doing anything. James Cook has a good matchup, and Javonte Williams has a great matchup. And like I said, Rachaad White going to get the whole role, and Dowdle may as well. So like, his RB room is better than mine. His quarterback room is 20 points better than mine. He's got Puka, and I've got Chris Olave. Like, I don't know why I'm favored in this matchup. I should not be favored in that matchup. We will just chalk that one up to auto relegation, and take my $20 and run. All right. So the next team, we have Jalen Hurts and Bo Nix. That feels a lot better. Uh, Running backs, Jameer Gibbs, Rashad White. That is it. Only Rashad White, only Jameer Gibbs versus CMC, Jonathan Taylor, and Ramondre and Dowdle. Um, I mean, I guess I do have Giddens and Ty Johnson, and Ty Johnson could randomly sneak in a touchdown, but I need those two to produce here. We both have Cooper Cup. I have Roma Dunze out. Garrett, he has, so I have Addison, Sutton, Bateman, QJ, Wandale. So, like, my wide receivers project very, very well. I need, like, it looks like I need a big Trey McBride week. I've seen him twice now. I do think that he should be favored slightly because of the lack of my RB room. But if if Gibbs puts up the 20 he's been putting up and Rashad puts up 10, I think I could win. And I will look very strong rest of season with Jacobs and Algier and Rome healthy or available to play like the rest of the season. So I would love that team to advance. I do agree I should be a slight dog. This one, I 29% to win. So let's see what went wrong here. We have Fields versus Hurts, May, and Love. Bucky Irving, RIP, Chase Brown, Cam Scatterbo, and Will Shipley. Yeah, it looks like two of my Eliminator teams are just dead, like dead in the water, which means I have to advance two of the other three, probably, like to have a chance at anything. Justin Jefferson, Devonta Smith, Godwin, who I do really like, Kirk, Keenan Allen. So once again, my wide receivers are very strong. It kind of looks like a Nico Nuke week. He has Puka and Nico, and then he's pretty thin. Like Shakir's fine, but yeah, I'm probably toast there. Like overall because of like Chase Brown, Scatterbo is all I have. That is all I have running back. So I'm flexing a wide receiver or a tight end. You know, I'm definitely flexing a wide receiver because Ertz is my only tight end. So I understand why it shows me that low. I do think the top three I could win. I think this one I'm a slight dog in. Oh no, this one I don't have a quarterback. So I don't have a quarterback in this one. I think the other two I should possibly win. And then this one, I think as long as Rashad White has a big week, I'm fine. So I do have a chance to advance three. I'm probably not going to advance three. Let's put on the background music. Let me know, is that too loud or not? Just a little bit of background music. So that is my Eliminator exposures. I am expecting to advance two. Like I would actually feel like as long as I don't only advance one, I'll feel pretty good about this because that's a lot of injuries on my side of the Eliminator for sure. All right, so now we're going to come over here to DK. I'm going to start playing, maxing the 20 entry max $3 play action every week. But I'm just going to kind of look through salaries and everything here and see if I notice anything at each position that I personally like. We'll definitely get into more detail on all this stuff in the underdog styling tonight on Candyman's channel. So if you prefer that, definitely look there. But so first thing to look at, where's Cooper Rush? I'm assuming he's down here. Yeah, Cooper Rush, 4,300. So that is something to note if you want to go men's salary there. All of the wildest thing to me is Justin Fields is 5,600 this week. that feels wrong. Jackson Dart is 5,300. Jackson Dart had 111 rush yards, I think. Yeah, 111 rush yards. So that to me is a decent buy versus a bad Saints defense as well. Daniel Jones, like, we don't have a pay up quarterback, right? And the one we have, Jalen Hurts hasn't proven anything yet. And like, I mean, he proves that he wins. But Jared Goff is 6,500 against Cincinnati. That a lot of people may lean towards that. Like the Herbert thing feels really good for the game, but like Jaden's coming off of a knee injury. I don't expect him to be the fantasy guy he usually is. I still think he's worth like a solid, like a last round pick and underdog stuff. But to pay up for him in this contest, I don't know if I like that. With the values you get down here with Fields, with what's up, Bud Daddy? We're doing something a little different today. We're just kind of looking through the salaries over on DK at each position. I once again like the buy low possibility of Bryce Young versus the worst defense in the NFL in Miami. I showed it yesterday, but if you go over here and you look at defense, this is sorted by defensive ranking. By far, the worst defense in the league overall is the Dolphins. And if you go to run defense, they're 28th. And Kansas City, by the way, is near the bottom, and which is like two. It could be toot week on Showdown. And then coverage grades, Miami is next to last, and pass rush, Miami is next to last. So like, and tackling, Miami's actually not that bad at it, but overall defensive grades, Miami is down at the bottom. Because the cumulative effect is that they're all the way down there. So Ted McMillan has been getting open. He had a couple drops, and Bryce Young has missed him a little bit over the middle of the field. I do think that they will possibly attack in different ways this week, and Miami has no pass rush unless they bring pressure. So if they bring pressure, that means Ted's one-on-one, which means if he catches the ball, he's just got to beat one guy and he's gone. So the Bryce Young, and when Bryce Young has been good in fantasy, it's because he runs. And if they're going to not blitz, he's going to be able to pick up a lot on the ground. So I think Bryce Young at 4,700 isn't somebody I'm going to make like a flag plant. But out of my 20 lineups, I'll probably do like 3 Bryce Young lineups. I will probably do like 5 Justin Fields lineups. I think he is the best pick on the board. And then Jackson Dart, I think, is a solid pick. I don't like on underdog. I think you can take him naked. On this slate, I don't think you can, purely because of the wide receivers and their values. So if you guys want to know about any of these other or quarterbacks, let me know. Sam Darnold, like, I don't. He's been playing very good, and he hasn't been forced yet. And Baker, I think, will at least force that game to be close and may keep them passing the ball. And we haven't seen Sam Darnold in that situation very much this year. And Geno Smith versus Indy definitely feels like a trailing game script thing. He has collapsed twice in that situation, and he's been great in 2 of them. So Spencer Rattler. Where is Rattler? Rattler at 4,800. He does rush a little bit, and I actually don't like it at all. I know you. I think it was you talking about it. I respect that Giants pass rush is where I'm at. The Saints are also missing, or at least last week they were missing their first round pick from this year and their early round draft pick from last year on the offensive line. I haven't seen yet if they are going to play. If they're going to play, he may have a chance at time. But Spencer Rattler plays the chaotic style that Baker Mayfield plays, without the skills that Baker Mayfield has. So it is kind of fun to watch him play, but like he does all that stuff and then he just airmails the ball, right? And he always throws. He doesn't run enough. I think Spencer Rattler needs to tuck it and run a little more than he does. So rushing, like he had 49, 10, 14, and 29. Like it could be a game to where he does do that a little more, just because of the pure, like how fast the pass rush is going to get there. I don't like the spot though, but I do think that they're playing from behind. And I do think, like, I don't know, like this Giants defense just held the Chargers to 21 or 19 points. Like I'm going to respect that, especially with another offensive line that has some injuries at the moment. Yeah, and that is a good point. Kellen Moore back at home. They are in a dome. Like I think it could be fun. Like I do like the Scatabo part of this. This game kind of screams an under to me. I think it's like a 44. I think. Let me. Oh no, let's look. Where is NFL here? I don't use the website. There it is. I use the app. So the over under for that game is 42. So with I think that's about right. And I don't think it's crazy to put Spencer Rattler into a lineup or two. I'm not going to do – he's not going to make my cut then. My cut is going to be some Herbert, a little bit of Goff, a little bit of Daniel Jones, a lot of Fields, a little bit of Dart, a little bit of Bryce Young. Like, I don't think there's a reason – I don't think there's a reason to play Cooper Rush when Bryce Young is probably going to be lower owned, like low owned, and is only 400 more. Okay, so you're just looking for low owned leverage. Like if that's what you're looking for with Rattler, yeah, you can get that. And for this specific contest, I do think that's fine. All right, so on to the running backs. Jonathan Taylor, the clear 101 this week. I don't think it's close. I don't believe that the Raiders are actually fifth in run defense. I think that's more who they played. Gibbs in full PPR is against Cincinnati. Like, it's hard to argue with that. I prefer Achane this week to Gibbs, and it saves a little money. I could just be wrong there for sure. Barkley, I don't know. Like, it kind of feels like this is the week that Nick Sirianni actually unleashes his offense, since it's I'm getting it doesn't make sense that this is what's going to happen, but Nick Sirianni is a pretty arrogant person, and I think that with the media being out there talking about him all the time, going against the Denver defense, he's going to be like, all right, I'll show you guys that we are the best team in the league. Like, and just go out there just slinging the ball. I could see that happening. And if they start slinging the ball, that means Saquon Barkley is going to be a little better pick, because that means the run gaps are going to open up. Bucky Irving out. So, like, we will see. Where is Rachaad White? So Rachaad White, 4,700, will end up being absolute chalk. And Bucky, by the way, Bucky Irving isn't officially out yet. It's just he's in a walking boot that they're saying he may play. Genty could be interesting. What's up, Cards? How we doing? Thanks for coming in, and thanks for smashing that like. I appreciate it. Yeah, Genty being more expensive than Hampton is wild to me. I know Joe Alt's out, but Hampton only had 17 touches last week, and he turned those 17 touches into 128 yards on the ground and another 30-ish receiving, right? 37 receiving for a total of 30.5 fantasy points on full PPR. He had 5 targets, 5 receptions. Absolutely. There are a lot of running backs in awesome spots. Like running back, there's so many good running backs. Like, and I think they're all pretty well priced as well. Derrick Henry could just be a game like he historically has just destroyed Houston. They don't have Lamar Jackson. Like, if the game is close, I think it's a Derrick Henry game plan. But there is a chance that because Baltimore's missing all of their defense, like I think it's literally 8 of the starting 11 are not like expected to play right now for this week. So they could just get behind from Nico Collins. Like Nico Collins could just nuke him, or Woody Marks could just nuke him, and that's another Woody Marks 5,400 feels really good. But yeah, like just looking at the matchups, like Hampton versus Washington is awesome. Genty in a trailing game script versus the Colts feels pretty good now that they did pass the ball to him a little bit. And they seem to not care that they were behind against the Bears whenever they got Genty started, right? So that's a good sign as well. Achane PPR scam and the Carolina defense, like that feels awesome. And Cincinnati, and then you got the best RB in the league against a great team versus like it's just hard for me to get to Barkley with all of these other things. And then Javonte Williams, the Jets are really bad on defense. So like this was this was after the Monday night game. Jets 27th in total defense, overall defense. And against run defense specifically, they are better. They are a lot better, actually. Where are they at? They're at 12th. So against the run defense, the Jets are 12th. So that is interesting as well. And those are by PFF numbers. And yeah, he is I do need to look at that because he's the 3:00 game, right? Because it's at Dallas, I believe. Where is that? No, it's at New York. So that's a noon game. So I would personally not flex that. Leaving your flex to be a 3 p.m. game to be able to look at what you need and flex out if you can't win at all since it's so top heavy. Because like if you look at this contest, like first 75,000 and then second is 30K. Like not that I'm like if I think it's the best play and I'm willing to just be like I'll take 30K and I'll let the other guy get 75K, right? But if 7 other people have that play that you see ahead of you, like the difference between that and 10K, like I think I still play it, but like you could always flex out of it, right? Okay, his floor is what you like. Got it. And Bink is better at this stuff than I am. So he is shipped, I think, twice, he said. So my favorite play this week overall is Breece Hall, and he's 5,600. I think that it's an absolute smash spot. I said that 2 weeks ago and got absolutely crushed. So there is that. Maybe I am not reliable here. Pollard might be the last week he gets all the touches. Tajay did get activated for the practice window. There has not been word if he's going to actually, if he's going to play yet. The feeling is that he won't, from what I'm seeing. So Pollard should get all the touches versus Arizona, but like, how valuable are Tennessee touches? Woody Marks just against the worst run defense in the league. One of them. And PFF against run defense. Let's see what PFF has. They also have the Ravens in last in run defense. Justin Matabuke out for the season. That is horrendous for them. Woody Marks should be the bell cow there. Each week for the last 3 weeks, he's seen more and more of a role. He absolutely flourished last week. And with Cooper Rush starting, and this could just be a Houston get-right game. Like, I hate to say that for Baltimore fans because, like, it could just be if they can't get – like, if Baltimore's defense can't get pressure on Stroud, I think we're going to see a high-scoring Houston team this week, which is wild to say against Baltimore. And as you noted before, David Montgomery, 5,200. With that narrative stuff I was talking earlier, like I really do like the David Montgomery shout right there. Amari DiMarcado, probably semi-chalky. Carter is Michael Carter, 4,000. He will probably be reasonably chalky as well. I will probably just avoid that game completely. I don't know. I don't feel great about that game. Dowdle may end up being the starter. Chuba is questionable at the moment. If Dowdle gets a full workload versus Miami, that will be in every lineup I have. How many targets in? He did not have very many. So Scadaboo did not have a lot of targets last week. I think it was 2. Yeah. 2. He had 2 targets. That's more of a Jackson Dart. Like, so this week was with, obviously you're asking because the first week he had 6 or 8 targets with 6 receptions. That's weird that they have it backwards. They had 8 targets, 6 receptions. That was Russell Wilson. And then this past week with Dart, they honestly just didn't throw the ball very much, right? So there is that. So those are the plays I like. I will never get to Nick Chubb. Justice Hill, like I will be okay getting beat by him again. Will Shipley has news. What's that news? All right. So he is back. I missed that. But yeah, those are the plays I like. Like, if Dowdle is not a go, Rico Dowdle to me is an instant put him in all your like I will probably put him in 50% of my lineups. If like that's what I will be doing. I will have Dowdle in 50% of my lineups if Chuba cannot play. Maybe that's a fish move, but 4,300 it will allow you to do whatever you want. So you could do that, and then that'll allow you to take a Taylor Gibbs team with it, a Taylor Achane, and Achane Gibbs. Like you can mix all those up together. Yeah. I like Dowdle a little bit as well without that. I don't know if I get to him because I'm going to assume there's value at wide receiver. I haven't actually looked through this yet, so this is my first look. Wide receivers, I think Amon is the clear number 1 play this week. I don't think it's really close, and I don't think you could possibly play Jamar Chase at 4,800. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Carolina offense does scare me, but when we get the Bryce Young to Tech connection, like the week that happens, you're going to want to be on that. because when it hits, it's going to hit hard, and after it hits, it's going to be expensive to get, I think. So I'm going to play some McMillan, Bryce Young lineups every single week because I do believe that the first week that hits, that's going to be optimal. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's wish casting. I don't know, but I do kind of think that. All right, so this could be a week though that you want to pay up at wide receiver because I haven't looked all the way down, but I know that like Amon, JSN are both really good picks. Nico could be a really good pick as well. Pickens is a really good pick, but Garrett Wilson at 6,100 is probably a flag plant. Godwin at 5,900 is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Godwin at 5,900 is ludicrous. That is way too high. We have Debo. Like, I don't mind the Debo 6,300. I'm not saying I'll do it much, but I do think it's fine. Like, if you have the extra salary to pay up for a Debo, I don't know that a lot of people will be doing it, but I think if you find yourself in a situation with extra salary, that does make some sense. And that would be a good, if you don't want to flex an RB for whatever reason and you want to flex a wide receiver, he would make a good, that I do think that I haven't seen what Ladd is, 5,500. He is the third listed wide receiver for the Chargers. I'm curious on something real quick. I'm just curious how ugly this looks. Like, so you do that, and then you take a defense. Let's say you take the one that plays Tennessee. So you still have 6,000 per if you do this. I don't think this is a good idea, but it definitely looks fun, right? Oh, not Jacoby Myers, Keenan Allen. That was supposed to be Keenan. Like, it's very like Justin Herbert could just nuke the slate. Washington's pass defense is horrendous. So like, this is interesting. Like, mostly because like they're all the same price. So if you love Herbert, and I do like Herbert a lot, I think you could run a shell of 2 RBs, the Cardinals defense with Herbert and 2 pass catchers and a different wide receiver. And as long as you leave yourself 300 on the table, you could make this lineup with every permutation of this, right? You could run the Ladd Keenan, you could run the Ladd QJ, you could run the QJ Keenan, right? So you could run all 3 combinations with the RB combos, right? Yeah, if JD is pushing, it could be crazy. And then you could also do the same thing, like, the problem is if JD is pushing, like, is Herbert the one you need, right? So if that's the case, you remove one of them, and then you pay up for Daniels, but like part of it is Herbert's a lot cheaper too. But like, seeing that all of them are the same price, I do think that it's possible to like maybe want to build a shell of 2 RBs, a defense, Herbert, and those 2 wide receiver slots, right? And then just run 3 lineups of that exact same thing with each combination of the Chargers lineup. And then you just assume you're going to that is what you need, right? And like, obviously if you're doing this, your other wide receiver is going to be Debo, or you're going to run Zach Ertz, right? Like one of those 2 things is probably what you're going to do, because this is like a 2-touchdown Zach Ertz game or a 2-touchdown Deebo Samuel game, right? Like, that's kind of something that I'm going to play around with. I will definitely build a lineup exactly like this. I don't know if it'll be Keenan and Ladd. And I will probably run all three combinations of it and know that I'm going to lose on one or two of them, but know that the one that hits is going to hit hard, right? So like, let's continue to build this out. Like, we'll get to finishing that out whenever we're done looking through the wide receivers. I just wanted to kind of show that that was something going through my idea or through my head, my idea going through my head. So Jacoby, when targeted, had I think 2 interceptions last week. Jalen Waddle probably criminally underpriced here. I don't know. Like, I know he's going to be mega chalk, and I think I'm going to completely avoid it. I think I'm okay losing to Waddle. The only successful wide receiver they've had this year has been Tyreek, and that's been the only thing able to open up any of the offense. And with Tyreek, you don't mind it at SoFi? Yeah. So with Tyreek not there, I do think that Waddle has a chance to not be good enough and to struggle with him. Like, so, like, if it beats me this week, that's fine. I'll adapt next week. But I want to, and yes, it is Carolina. Achane is the only piece of the Miami offense I want to touch this week. Maybe Waller. I'm not going to chase Waller up the boards, but he is probably cheap. Where the hell is he? He's at 3,500. So, like, he's reasonably cheap. So, like, that makes some sense. So, continue down here. Wandale, 5,300 feels really good. Marvin Harrison at 5,400. Full PPR, 5,300 feels awesome for him. Pittman, 5,100 feels really good. Jameson Williams, 4,900 feels really good. So, yeah, this slate definitely sets up to, like, attack this area. McMillan at 5,700 feels really good. Like, from Javonte Williams or Jameson Williams up to, like, Quentin Johnston, taking 3 of those are, like, wide receivers and then using that, like, I think that's a really solid thing. Like, you do that, maybe pay down at defense and tight end, and then pay up at running back. Like, I think those are going to look really, really good. Because yeah, this section is very strong. I know Kevontae Turpin's really cheap. I think he's very playable if he ends up being healthy. Yeah, exactly. Get JT. Yep. Bateman's done nothing yet this year. Slayton at 4,300 is probably awesome as well. I will personally target more Slayton than Wandale because of price. Coker may not he's active to return to practice as well, but they did label him week to week still. Io Manor 4,100. To me, he's the only piece of the Tennessee offense to even look at. Franklin of 4,000, that feels okay. I wonder, this game is either going to be an absolute slog or they're going to push each other. I don't know which. I haven't decided which. I think both defenses have the ability to be elite, but both offenses haven't really lived up to what they can do so far this year. So I am worried that this game turns out to be in a shootout. I don't think it will, but if it turns into a shootout, I have a bad week. Adonai Mitchell, 3,600. I don't know why. He could have nuked last week. Not only did he fumble the one ball, but he also got missed on another ball that would have been another 70-yard touchdown. Adonai Mitchell could have easily had a 2-touchdown 140 game yesterday or this weekend. he can get open. And the catch he made on that ridiculous play he made, like, that catch was insane. And the run after the catch was insane. So, yes, the holding might keep him out a little bit, but the Raiders aren't good against the pass either. I'm not going to get here this week unless, like, if Pierce is out, I might get here this week, but if Pierce is in, I won't. It depends on the team, honestly. Goff and Gibbs, absolutely. Like Scadaboo and Dart, yes. I think any running back who has the ability, like, I actually think Herbert Hampton is a very sharp play. Because Hampton he's going to get all of the work, right? All of it. So Turpin, I think if he plays, he's in an absolute smash spot for 3,500. He is one of my favorite pay down plays as well. So looking on down here, I might miss something. Let me know if there's something you guys like that's interesting. I will say Isaac Tesla at 3,100 is interesting, purely because if that game gets out of hand, and it probably gets out of hand, I could see like a Goff Gibbs Tesla stack, like getting 3 touchdowns, right? Like Goff throws for 4 and that stack gets 3, like 3 in the air. Like I could see them like just trolling around with the Bengals defense and letting Tesla moss some people in the end zone near the end of the game, right? Like that's what they've done in other games where they're dominating. Like if we look at Tesla, like this game, they were in a non-winnable game, so they let him go out there and play in the last quarter, right? In this game, they were dominating the game, so they let Tesla go out there and get a touchdown in the last quarter. And I mean, I don't think 10 fantasy points is really enough, but it's an interesting thought. Like, I do think that it's a low hit. Like, it would have to be a 2-touchdown, 30-yard game or something, right? And I think that there is a world that happens. I won't get there, but I think it's fun to think about. So, yeah, as far as scrolls, like, I'm not going to click Hyatt, but Hyatt's probably going to be on the field a little bit. You could run the backup quarterback to a backup wide receiver, Devontae Walker to Cooper Rush theory. I'm not going to do that. Never play Michael Wilson in any situation ever. But yeah, like as far as deep scrolls, it's literally just Turpin for me. Like Brandon Cooks actually might not be a bad one. Like if I were to run, like if you were to convince me to run a Spencer Rattler stack, it would probably be to kind of get a cheap Brandon Cooks. He's only got 20 yards each game, but he's got 3 receptions. He's gotten several targets. He has got a red zone target. So, like, if you turn one of those into a red zone target, like a red zone touchdown, it could be fine. I'm not going to do it, but I could see that working out. Torrey Horton is interesting as well. Like, he was getting a bunch of usage, and then the second half, they just didn't use him last week. I don't know, like, if he missed a block or if he had a holding penalty or something that they pulled him for, but they were starting to ramp him up. He looked good. He had a 2-touchdown game here, one on a return. He had a touchdown here, and then he got the 2 targets, 10 yards here, and then he didn't really play in the second half. He could be a sneaky play. I won't get there either. So, tight ends, everyone's favorite position. He did. San Francisco's defense is much, much worse than the Giants. I will say that. There are 5 very, very solid tight ends on this slate, maybe even 6. And Cooper Rush being in Baltimore is very positive for Mark Andrews, I do think, as well. So McBride, Bowers, Ferguson, Warren, Laporta, all of them feel pretty good. I flat out like Tyler Warren over Brock Bowers and Ferguson. Like, these prices are the same, but you play them in the stacks. So, like, you play Ferguson opposite of Fields or with Dak, or I don't think it's it's horrible to take Ferg over Warren, without a bring back or anything. I think it's fine. I personally prefer Warren there. I like Sam Laporta a lot at 4,200 versus the Bengals. And yeah, so I haven't looked at the deeper ones, but I usually like to scroll down at tight end, but it kind of feels like a Laporta week. They haven't really got him. He's got targets. He got a bunch in this game, and then he's got some here, but it just kind of feels like a week that the tight end, to me, the reason Laporta has failed so far this season is, if we go here, this mustache here, that mustache right there, he needs to petition everybody everywhere and get his profile pictures removed. Without the mustache, I think it's giving him bad juju. I don't think he actually has the mustache still. Yeah, since he's really bad. So, looking down this list, Darren Waller at 3,500 is interesting. I don't know if I get there. I do think if I was interested in playing Tua, I would probably get there. Shocker, he's got a Q tag. Jatavian Sanders, another Q tag. Tommy Tremble, only 2,900 yet again. He is in an absolute smash spot again. The one that I'm very, very interested in is Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor on Monday Night Football, 7 targets, 5 receptions, 65 yards. And now he's going against a Dallas defense who can't stop anyone. Dallas Cowboys over, which one? That is run defense. So in coverage grade, Dallas is 28th. And in total defense, Dallas is 31st. So I love Mason Taylor this week. He's actually a scroll down for me, an underdog. But you're getting last week, I shouted out Tommy Tremble. A couple other sharp people were on him as well, and I was like, no, I've actually submitted 5 lineups with Tommy Tremble of my 20 already. So I just happened to tie him with Chet McMillan in all of my lineups. So I had a bunch of 170 lineups in points, and a lot of those had Trimble on them. They just all had McMillan. I never topped 200, and 200 wasn't enough last week. But I mean, a 200-point lineup is still a solid lineup. But 170 is fine. Yeah. So, but Mason Taylor is a play that I really like this week. I don't know what the ownership will come in, but I like it a lot. If it's under 15%, I want a bunch. And Oronde Gadsden is interesting as well. He's seen a lot more usage. I do think that this, if Jaden pushes, I kind of like Gadsden, maybe opposite of Jaden Daniels. A Jaden Daniels, Gadsden bring back, kind of with a very cheap piece on the Chargers offense. Take a receiver and Gadsden with Jaden Daniels plus Debo or something, right? Like, remove that. Take Gadsden, remove Herbert, and then Gadsden allows you to pay up for Jaden Daniels, and we're sitting at 6,000 per with this lineup right here. So, like, let's say you pay up for the two best running backs on the slate, in my opinion. And then you scroll down and take a decent, like, actually, let's say Dowdle, like, let's say Chuba doesn't play. You take Dowdle, and then you still get this sweet spot here. So you take Jameson Williams, right? So, like, you have 400 left. So you could literally move Gadsden off here. Something like this would make sense to me. I don't, like, obviously I'm not going to play this exact lineup, but I do think paying down for Gadsden makes some sense. But, like, you could just play Mason Taylor, who's a better click, in my opinion. Overall, like, I do think Taylor is a much better click, and I do like Gadsden. Like, I think a double stack with Herbert's the way to play it with Gadsden. You could convince yourself into an opposite Jaden Daniels, but I probably don't do that. I was just kind of looking at it, see how it felt. I just built a Goff, Gibbs, Scattaboo, Garrett Wilson, Pittman, Laporta, QJ Colts. Nice. Yeah, so now we're going to look at what I like in the defenses. We're going to remove all those. The red X's were bothering me for some reason. So defenses, you got to like anybody versus Tennessee. You got to like anybody versus Cincinnati. I will have 0 Ravens. You can book that. I'll have 0 Dolphins, and I'm not, like, 100% sure that that's a good thing. I will definitely be mixing in Giants. Spencer Rattler is mistake prone, and the Giants defense does have the ability to get sacks. Baker absolutely makes mistakes. So I think the Seahawks are in. They've also got a return touchdown this year. We don't have the New England Patriots on the board. I do think that the Colts defense makes some sense. Geno has what, like 5 interceptions on the year? Geno has 7 interceptions on the year. So he's actually oscillating good games and bad games. Good game, bad game, good game, bad game. So we might see a good game if you believe in that kind of thing. I personally don't. Have they had 4 straight? They haven't had 4 straight road games, right? Oh, okay. So all of his bad games have been at home, and his road games have been the good ones. So are they at home, or are they are on the road? So Geno Smith is not only is it every other game, it's also every road game that he plays well. So keep that in mind. And then we got the bottom of the barrel. I won't take I won't take Bengals. I do think you could mix Saints in. It is a rookie quarterback without their star receiver. I think Saints, a lot of people may take them. Titans, hard to get to. I think Houston is actually Houston may be the chalk lineup. Yeah, I think the Saints you could play, and I think the Texans are probably a smash. No Lamar. This was put out before Lamar was definitely out. That defensive line is crazy. Will Anderson is tied with Myles Garrett in pass rush win rate this year. I do think that, like, you look at the amount of points they have quite a bit of points just purely on the sacks that they've got. Panthers D is interesting because Tua does just do bad things every once in a while. So, like, they're a team that you could just mix in here and there. I will probably pay down for the Texans a lot, honestly. Like I will probably play the top two defenses a lot. I will probably play a little bit of the Giants. I will possibly play, and then I'll probably play the Texans and Saints, and that'll probably be what and I could just take the Panthers as well. Like, I do think there's a decent chance that Miami is completely stagnant this week without Tyreek. Like, yeah, I think that with Tyreek being out and Carolina, they do have a pick six on the season, and Tua is very capable of throwing a pass like Michael Penix threw to Carolina. He is extremely capable of that. We've seen that before. Yeah, like the two pay up defenses this week, like, and it's only two, they definitely feel really, really good. I think I like the Lions more than the Cardinals, though. I think Detroit's defense is better, and, like, both of these offensive lines are horrific. So we will come back over to this, and we will go to the offense, and we're going to look at pass blocking grades and go to the bottom. So the bottom of the pass blocking grades, Cincinnati is 28th. Miami is 29th. If you like, why are the Ravens 3,400? Like, there is zero chance I will absolutely, like, I'm okay getting cooked by the Ravens at 3,400. Like, if that happens, good game, sir. You win, right? There's absolutely no way, right? Like, just. By the way, for those of you who don't know, the guy who asked that is a gigantic Ravens fan. So keep that in mind. You're like, absolutely not. No, not on my watch. DraftKings, you're up to no good. So this is offensive pass blocking grades on PFF. Dolphins really bad, Bengals really bad, Texans really bad, Titans really bad. So, like, I like the Detroit defensive line better. Like, and if we go to defense and pass rush, you look at the top, the Lions are 6th, and the Arizona Cardinals are all the way down to 18th. So I'm going to assume that the Lions are going to put more pressure on Jake Browning than the Cardinals are going to put on Cam Ward. And if we go to just total offense, you go to the bottom, Cincinnati is 30th and Tennessee is down there. And the numbers, I mean, it's a pretty substantial drop from Tennessee to the Bengals, but it was also a pretty substantial drop from Detroit to the Cardinals on defense. So I do think that with that information, like, my gut instinct told me that the Lions were the better play, and looking through that, it definitely does feel like the Lions would be the best play there, for sure. Yeah, I think the Lions are the single best play, followed by the Texans, actually. And I think that you want to mix in a little bit of Saints. Like, if you really, really like a lineup that you have, if you love a lineup and you want to just use that lineup and run 3 different defenses with it, I think that's fine too. And I think that, like, because your defense could easily just be what doesn't win you the million, right? Or the $75,000 on these $3 entry ones. So I think that my favorite lineup, whatever my favorite one is, I may just run it with Lions. I guess that doesn't make sense because if I pay down to the Texans, I'm going to want to change something. But I will use that shell, pay down, and get something better, right? Like I will definitely do that with a team. Use the same shell, pay down, and get a much better. Probably not need to push maybe money for the narrative. Yes, yeah, and I do think that like so. I mean, let's just build one right now with that because like Monty is such a good price right now. So we're gonna go ahead and build one. Yeah, the Texans D is just a great price. Like it is such a good price. But the Lions are the best defense on the slate. I honestly don't think it's close. That doesn't mean that I won't take some against Cam Ward. So we're gonna look. What quarterback do I like? I mean, we're gonna do what I was kind of talking about. I once again really like this. We're gonna take the Achane, Bryce Young stack here, and then we're gonna go down here to Mr. McMillan. This didn't work last week, but like we're already at still 5,900 with all of this, and that's without paying down at tight end. Like so, we can take a tight end there, or we could just go here and take where's the 2,900 and take the old Tommy Tremble again, right? So this is a Dolphins are winning, but they're actually running the ball. And at the end of the game last week, they just ran the ball with Achane, like 9 or 10 straight plays in a row or something like that. Like it was crazy. So I do think that if they get ahead, that they will just run the ball with Achane. So with the passing bring back, it makes a lot of sense here. So we have 7,000 per. So let's just see what would happen. Yeah, so we just had the David Montgomery gets the 2 touchdowns. Nobody else on the Lions scores a ton. The Lions defense also destroys. You don't like the Carolina stuff? It's fine. Like I'm going to play the Carolina stuff purely because of how bad the defense for the Dolphins are. Like the Dolphins defense is absolutely last. And I'm not saying Carolina's offense is good. Carolina's offense is 20th. But like they're only 20th because they've left so much on the field. They're like very, very close. Like I will say that the Tremble play is probably not the right play. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I'm going to chase the TEP price until he hits because when he hits, you're going to need him. And he was very close to having basically probably like a 22, 23 point game last week. Like that may not have been enough last week. Sanders, like what Sanders? Jatavian? Oh, he had a light practice today too? Okay. Yeah, if he plays, I'm completely out on that. So I do kind of like some of these higher tight ends. So let's try this. Ferguson will probably get peppered as well. So let's actually see about that. Let's try this. Man, like this feels good. Still 6,000 available. So wide receivers, like, and to be honest, like that is so much money left over. I mean, you could just play whoever you wanted there, right? Like if you pay down for Rico, like I do think that this lineup, the second option would be Rico. Rico, I guess he hasn't had that many receptions, but I mean, I don't really like. I was just wondering how that looked. So we will. Yeah, that's. And Bryce Young, like, I don't actually like him with Rico because when Bryce Young nukes, he's going to have a rushing score, right? I kind of really like the Woody Marks price. Not going to lie about that. And then a wide receiver, 7,300. You can get JSN still here. Like this lineup. Well, like he had one in week 3. Like that is part of his game. Like I will bring up player profile. I believe it was he out of the last 6 games last year, he had 5 rushing touchdowns. And it's kind of like, so they haven't really had a normal game yet this year. Like every one of their games, like if you look here, 26-10, right? Like there was a special teams or defensive touchdown very early there. This game was semi-normal. But then like Atlanta game was absolutely not normal. Carolina got basically 2 non-offensive touchdowns early, right? One of those was the Bryce Young rushing touchdown was part of that, right? Like they got the ball really close and he ran it in. And then last week, like what can you take away from that, right? Like New England got the defensive stuff really early. So this is Bryce Young last year in the last games. Excuse me. But week 13, 17 for 1, 14, 29 for 0. Week 15, 12 for 1. Week 16, 68 rushing yards for 1. Week 17, he only had 8, but then week 18, he had 24 for 2. He had a 23-point game, a 27-point game, and a 36-point game. Like, I think that as soon as he gets, like, him and Tet lock on, they are going to nuke a slate. I don't know exactly what they give up to him on the ground. Like that's the thing. Like Fields definitely inflated that total. Let me look up Dolphins schedule. Well, they played the Bills and the Jets. So they played Danny Dimes, who got 2 rushing scores, I believe. Drake May, Josh Allen, and Justin Fields. So Daniel Jones had 26-2. Drake May had 10 carries, 31-1. Josh Allen had 25-0. And Justin Fields had 81-1. 47 was on that one rush. So if you remove that one rush, they still had 40 rushing yards. Like, so I mean, they played like all of those running, like all of those backs, so all the quarterbacks, right? But I like this lineup. I don't know that I love JSN this week, but like I really like this lineup. Get a little mini bring back here. You got Bryce Young with the bring back there. You got the Cincinnati narrative, and then we have a solo JSN here, like, and a solo Woody Marks. I do think that you could. I mean, if you wanted, you could remove that and take the yeah, I think I like that version better. I don't know. Let's pop in Jonathan Taylor and see what I can get here. So if you go to Jonathan Taylor, yeah. So like if you go to Jonathan Taylor here, you can't. You have to go down to like Trey Tucker. Like you're right at that line. Like you almost fit in somebody good. You could go down to Darius Slayton. I don't love it, but it's almost there. You could take Shaheed. I'm not going to do that. I do quite like this lineup. I mean, I'm all about making one lineup just for fun, like a Spencer Rattler, Shaheed, Jawan Johnson double stack with a Cam Skadaboo bring back. Like, I would be okay doing something like that for pure fun. It's a $3 entry, you know? So we got let's look at the RBs here. Like, I mean, you could just do the double RB, right? And then take the wide receiver, because now you can get those wide receivers I like. Almost got up to Pittman. Like, I wanted to get up to Pittman is what I wanted to get. 100 short. So like here, I don't want Breece Hall with Garrett Wilson. Could be a Skadaboo lineup. I mean, this kind of makes sense. You got your George Pickens, Garrett Wilson combo with the Ferguson bring back. Like, you got the double here. Yeah, like, actually, I like this lineup. I think I like this more. I think the Bryce Young, McMillan with the Lion stuff, with the Achane bring back, like the shell of Bryce, Tet, Achane, and then the Montgomery plus Lions defense. I think that's a good place to be. And then bringing in the game stack, because everybody's going to be playing this, but nobody's going to be playing it. Everybody's going to be playing it with Fields and Dak, right? Especially with the double stack. So that's what I'm going to lock that one in. Oh. Well, I guess I'm going to have to save this. And I'm going to have to log in because I guess I wasn't even logged in. All right, let's see if it saved the lineup or not. All right, so we're back. We're going to go ahead and make that lineup. Nobody duped me in this contest. It's so good they don't want you to enter. Yeah, so like nobody, like, I don't care if you guys dupe this in any contest that's not the play action, right? Just don't dupe this in the play action, please. If you want to dupe it, if you're crazy like me and you want to dupe it, go ahead. Just don't do it in this contest. Achan, and then it was Scataboo in the flex. Then it was Wilson and Pickens and Ferguson. And what was the defense? The defense was the Lions. And the last wide receiver spot was McMillan, obviously. I don't know why I couldn't remember. There we go. That lineup's in. We are good. There you go. If you want to put that into something else, go ahead. I think I'm done for the day, though. I need to start up my grill, cook food for the week for work, and I will be live again tonight on Candyman stream. Let me find that link real quick. I'm sure most of you guys are subbed to Candyman or Fantasy Football Garage, but I reached out to him the other day, and we're going to start doing a weekly main slate breakdown every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central. Myself, Hartman, and Candyman will be doing that. Candyman and I's Sunday show is going to get merged into that. So here is the link. Go there and sub. We will be on there. That will be purely talking about underdog ADPs and everything. I think I may start every Wednesday doing this show, going through the DK stuff, just as a walkthrough, assuming you guys like it. If you like it and you want more of it, please say something in the comments down below. As soon as this video is done, the comments will pop up. Say something if you liked it. If you don't want this content, also say something. I'll see everybody later tonight. Good luck. Peace.